Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Danielle and I'm from Kitties Readings. So welcome here today. So we're going to do a little bit of a shorter card pull, but we're going to be looking at what does it look like if you stay in relationship with this person versus what does it look like if you don't stay in relationship with this person. So it's just sort of like a quick little card pull. If you are perusing YouTube looking for some confirmation. We'll put it that way. Okay, so that being said, if you have headphones on, you might want to turn down the volume just for a second here as I'm going to clear the energy. I'm going to ring these 3 times and then we will look at the cards for your pile selection. All right, so pile 1, we have this, if I can grab it, Believe and Trust card. It's from the Archangel Michael deck. I don't know why I felt really called to use him. I guess he kind of is protective, and I was just wanting to bring his energy into today's reading. Let me hold this a little bit closer so you can see the image better. Okay, and then pile 2, we have prayer will help this situation. And pile 3, we have explore your options. Okay, so without further ado, I will see you all in your card piles. Zoom in here a little bit. Okay, so we have Believe and Trust pile 1. We have, before going to sleep tonight, say, Archangel Michael, please enter my dreams and replace fear with faith and trust. Let me be filled with strength, courage, and confidence. And then in the image, there's Archangel Michael, and he's sort of handing over his sword, and there's like this beautiful stream. He's in nature. There's some mountains in the background. It's actually a very pretty card. So we'll put that there. And we are going to pull some cards now for what does pile 1's romantic partnership, what would it look like for pile 1 if they stay in their current romantic partnership? I'm going to do this side. All our highest good and light. Okay, I kind of want one more. And what does it look like for pile 1, all their high school and light, if they leave this partnership, this romantic partnership? What does it look like for them if they were to leave? Oh, so interesting. I guess I didn't want this card for some reason. We'll put it back in. I was just thinking how every time I pull 2 cards and I only want, oh look at it again, I only want the bottom one. Where I kept thinking it's like your second choice. I feel like it's your second choice to leave them, but your first choice seems to be to stay with them, and I think you know that. Just off of how the cards feel. So I feel like you don't even really want these like, what does your life look like without them cards? So I'm like, do we even look at them? I feel like you don't really want them. Just put them over here. Part of you are like, no, I still want to see what you say. Okay, so let's start with, what does your life look like with them? So we have past life relationship. You have known each other before. This, it is safe for you to love. We have unrequited love, children, worth waiting for. Okay, this is interesting. So, believe and trust. This is interesting. I kind of expected different cards to come up with like your dislike of these cards, you don't even know what they are, but I feel like I just felt like energetically you would rather stay with this person than leave them. So what I'm seeing here in this relationship dynamic for you, pile one, is definitely there is just like an attraction. So usually when I see past life relationship, there's a strong sexual attraction between the two of you, almost like a hard to not think of them kind of dynamic. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's like you on a soul level recognize their soul, and our souls just love seeing other souls that we know. So there is like a lot of soul love as well, is also what I see when I see past life relationships. It's funny, I feel like some people really get into like the sexual stuff, but I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I see that there's just like a lot of soul love here. I'm sure there's also sexual attraction, but I feel like what's more important is the soul attraction, because this explains actually why it's so hard to think of not being with them. It's because your souls know each other and they love each other. So here, what I should also say about that though is that doesn't always mean that you love what they do in the 3D realm in this lifetime. You don't like all their actions. Your soul has this like hope that there'll be this version that they know, because you see like their highest potential usually in these sort of dynamics, but it's not often what we get when we see the past life relationship card come up. Usually we don't get the best versions. So it's safe for you to love. Sorry, there's like a noisy card there. It's safe for you to love. What is always interesting for this card is telling me that there is a little bit of a block in this love connection where there is like some inner child wounding that comes through. So usually when I see this, I feel like there's someone here who might have a fear around not feeling good enough for them, fear of vulnerability, fear of being authentically themselves. It doesn't have to be you. It can also be the other person, or it can be both of you are struggling with some limiting beliefs in this connection. That's usually what past life relationships also come through. There's usually a karmic thing going on, like our souls know each other and love each other, and they're like, you know what, will you help me learn this? I really trust you. Will you help me learn this in the next life? And then our souls are like, yeah. Or their souls are like, yeah, I'll help you learn that. Will you help me learn this? Yeah, let's do that. Oh, I love you so much. Yeah, I love you so much. I'm so excited for the next time we meet. And then it's kind of like once we're here, we're like, oh, it actually doesn't feel that good sometimes. Doesn't feel that good to learn this lesson in this way, but we were stoked about it before. It's kind of dynamic to get here, because the thing I'm also seeing here is there's just so much about this dynamic being intended to help you move through. Like we literally have children here, inner child wounding. So whenever we say inner child, I feel like some people are getting really tired of that word. Get through fears and belief systems that are outdated, that are running around in our subconscious from the day we can remember having them. Like, you know, like not being good enough, not being lovable, being rejected if we're vulnerable, or our vulnerability being used against us. I feel like that kind of energy is definitely coming through. And you know, it's so interesting. Oh, I don't know. So I just will try to be as non-biased as I can be, but it's like I'm getting your energy, and I feel like there's a lot of your things that you're wanting that are not being met in this love relationship. Like I feel like you have needs, you have your needs are being met, and I feel like just like what you want in a partner isn't being met in this person, by this person right now. So in either case, so I feel like if you're watching this, I do feel like there needs to be a little bit of a rebirth in how you are dynamicking with each other. I'm like, this isn't going to make sense. Dynamicking, I don't think that's a word. But like the unrequited love, like there isn't enough attraction for this to keep going. I feel like this is saying like you can't keep going on as you have been. So there needs to be a conversation. There needs to be like a shift. Like both parties need to realize what it is. Like if it's like you're not being fully yourself, you're holding back. I do feel like in this dynamic. It is the woman, or the feminine, whoever embodies more of the feminine energy, who is holding back in the connection. So this could be yourself watching, this could be the person you're inquiring about, but I am getting, like, because of their wounds, I do feel like there's a fear of vulnerability, of being truly vulnerable and fully open to this person's affection, because I keep seeing the person who's more in their masculine reaching out, and I feel like I see the feminine energy person turning away, out of like self-preservation, out of patterning, out of doing what they've done for years, if that makes sense. So it's not coming out of a place of disinterest. I definitely get that, but I almost feel like they're not realizing that they're doing this. There needs to be a conversation where one mentions that they've noticed this pattern, and I feel like there needs to be full on vulnerability on both sides, where if you this isn't you doing this pattern in the dynamic, I think, or even if you are the one doing it, I think there needs to be a conversation clarifying that you've realized this pattern within yourself, and this person is someone worth waiting for, that you want to move forward with, and that you're going to do your best to catch yourself when you're turning away from them in the relationship instead of turning towards them. So I don't know if you've heard that in relationships where they say, are you turning in or are you turning out? And just, yeah, so whether it's you doing this or it's the person, there needs to be a discussion on it, because you both need to be put on the same page if this relationship is going to continue, that this aspect is going to change or be worked on, and how each other can support each other in changing this dynamic. So if you saw this and you're kind of like, no, I don't want it to end, then I think you know your action steps is that you need to have vulnerable, honest communication. And I do see this card as you can work through this. It will change the dynamic. But I get this more as like, if you want to move forward, you do have to make this effort. And the Believe and Trust card, this one is so interesting because I almost feel like, yeah, I don't know. What do I want to say to this? Maybe I don't need to say anything. I feel like maybe this is just validating enough for you all as you chose it, but this card feels hopeful. I mean, believe and trust. Believe and trust that you will do what's right for you, and what's best for you will work out. And if it's worth the effort, it will be made. What it looks like, if you choose to let this person go, I might just move these cards out of the way. Oh gosh. I don't know why I can't pick up the cards today. Usually I'll struggle with that. I guess I trimmed my nails a little bit and maybe I just can't quite hook them or something. Put these over here. So we have getting to know each other, attraction, trust, true love, and pay attention to red flags. Okay, so sorry, I'm just taking a second. That's so funny. I was gonna say, I feel like you're gonna clear your energy, and then I started yawning, which some people say in energy, if you yawn, you're clearing energy. So this actually makes me feel like, so whether you stay with this person or you move on, there's this pattern in your romantic partnerships that you are going to change. So I do wonder if you chose this pile, if you are the person then who is having a hard time being vulnerable or having open communication in relationships. I wonder if like you've struggled with, if you see someone is turning away with speaking up about it and saying something in the moment. Whatever it is though, I do feel like it is confirming that whether you stay with the person or not, there is going to be a change in your dynamics in relationships. So you're not gonna continue being in the same types of romantic relationships as you have been in the past. I do feel like there's this desire to find more trust, like clearing, seeing the red flags early. So like if you see that someone isn't emotionally ready for a relationship, I don't think you're going to be as attracted to them, or I think maybe in the past you would have found them mysterious. For example, you might have seen someone as mysterious, but actually it turns out they were just, they didn't really know who they were. They weren't actually that mysterious. Does that make sense? I think some of you might have seen some stuff like this, where you were drawn in by an attribute, but it turns out it was actually not as like a nice of an attribute as you thought. It actually was because they weren't looking at an aspect of themselves. True love, so this is a lifetime. So this does confirm like attraction. If you're like, I guess this does mean you, I feel like if you're one of those people where you're like, I don't want to leave this person, the sex is so good, the attraction is so strong, here's a confirmation that you will still have attraction, strong attraction, and I even see heart attraction with someone else. True love is going to be out there. It won't just be this connection. There is other great loves out there for you. And here is this like getting to know each other. This is so interesting because in this one, in this card, like the lady is actually looking at the guy eye to eye, like not shying away, looking straight at him. But what I find interesting is there's this clearing energy that's lying on top of the woman. So it's almost like before she can take action, she needs to clear some stuff, like heal some stuff within her from her past relationship. So this is even why I think like whether you stay or go in this dynamic, in this relationship, the next person, there will be a bit of time that you need to take to heal whatever wounding was confirmed by this relationship. So, you know, we all have our own woundings, right? So I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm not trying to say that this relationship, if it doesn't work out, is your fault. But I'm just saying we all have insecurities and we all have shadow attributes and inner child wounding that goes on. So it's like very important before you get into the next one. There is going to be a next one where there's lots of attraction, there's lots of love. It's important to sorry, I keep getting distracted by different energies here, to take the time to heal. And yes, you can still talk to other people, but just don't promise them a relationship. Just let people know that you're taking your time, that you're working on yourself, that you are waiting until you're ready to get back in a relationship, waiting for yourself to be the person who's available to be in the kind of relationship that you want. Does that make sense? And I do see that happening because I do see like this woman, again, it's this feminine energy, just waiting for this clearing. But she's interested, she's on her path, but she just needs to process some stuff there. Okay, process some stuff. So I don't know, take it as it resonates, but I do wonder if you are the feminine energy or the person who holds the feminine energy here. Okay, so I also have these cards here where I just wanted to ask, I'm kind of forgetting what I was going to ask for them. How about just some advice on the love connection, on your love life here? How about that? Together, closure, break, star, alone time, and relax. And apparently this one. Okay. Interesting. I didn't see this one going here. Oh, Steve, my cat might pop up here. He's staring at me from the other side. Oh, here he is. Steve. So, together. This is interesting. Closure and heartbreak. Alone time, star, and relax. It's so interesting. This makes me wonder if this pile here is watching because their relationship ended. Maybe you're in separation right now with this person you're inquiring about. And because I feel like this is like just general guidance, but I do feel like when I see the together card, I actually feel like you were together. The connection ended. But it is saying like there needed to be a break or a pause. there needed to be a change in your romantic cycle, like, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like there was a pattern repeating. That's what I keep seeing. There's a pattern repeating in this romantic relationship. Heartbreak. So this kind of comes back to that energy of just like needing to heal your side of things. It says heartbreak is a part of the human experience. It will pass, so knowing it will not last forever. And that in healing it, we can sometimes heal and see our limiting beliefs and our wounds so that we can love bigger and better, receive bigger and greater love in the future. The Star card, this is so interesting because I feel like such new beginnings for this, and I can't help but think like the star, like it's going to be brighter, it's going to be more beautiful, it's going to be greater. So I don't necessarily want to say that this isn't going to be back with this person, this first inquiry person, but I like either way, like just either energy, whatever energy you choose, because ultimately it's your choice. You get to choose what you want to experience, right? I do feel like it will be different, but there is this calling, yeah, for like this need for closure, or like this need for closure, this need for a break, a change in patterns, alone time. Spend some time alone. It will help you gain clarity on your relationship. So there's just some stuff that you needed to see, feel, experience, and let go of to change your relationship dynamics. So I want to be very clear. I do feel like there's some inner child stuff that has come up that it is being mentioned because you're ready to release it. Like, I don't know if you knew it was holding you back in the relationship, and maybe it was on the amount you would allow someone to love you. That's what I think. I kind of get that from the energy. I don't think that you held back on how much you loved them, but I feel like you couldn't maybe necessarily receive it, if that makes sense. Take it or leave it. Relax, find joy in the simple pleasures of just being together. So this card kind of comes up as don't worry, like you're not going to be alone forever. Someone who can love you for as beautiful as you are, as fully as you are, and once you've like allowed and seen where you're not allowing people to you won't fully let people love you, once you've healed a little bit of that in this divinely guided break, it's gonna come back in. I feel like there's just some worry that like maybe, sorry about that, my battery started flashing red. Yeah, I just want to be very clear that if there's any fear here that you will be alone forever, you'll never find this type of connection, this past connection, this level of attraction, you will. And it might be with this person again in a new birth of this relationship where you both come back having learned some things, or it could be in a new relationship. But either way, I do just see like it was so important for you to have this time to reflect, this alone time. You needed that dynamic to end. It wasn't serving you, it wasn't serving the other person to the highest ability that it could, if that makes sense. There was more potential there, but it was like you're stuck in a pattern or a cycle, and it had to be broken for it to change, if that makes sense. Okay. I hope that, so believe and trust. So I think I see this is definitely a manifestation card for you all. Believe and trust that the relationship, the romance that you want, just know how you want to feel in a love connection and manifest that in. What does that feel like? And then don't put a face on it and just see what happens. As hard as that is, but do know that it is up to you, you know? You can wait for it if you want with this last person. Or you can let go and know that someone else will come in. They weren't your only soulmate. They weren't your only option. Okay? This wasn't your only love story. You have many more love stories in your future. I guess that's just what you need to hear right now. So I am wishing you the best, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hello, pile 2. So you chose the prayer will help the situation. So let's look at what your romantic partnership will look like if you stay with this person. All in your highest good in love and light. Oh boy. Oh gosh. That was crazy. Just a bunch of cards flew out over there. Okay, and what does your love life look like if you choose to leave? If you choose to leave this connection and move on to another. Okie dokie. So let's look at what it looks like if you stay first. We have forgiving and learning, release your ex, retreat, romantic feelings, ooh, deception, very soon. Okay. Okay. I don't know why. There's no card here that says, maybe it's the deception card, but I have the impression that in this romantic partnership, you might have been cheated on. If that is not part of your story, just release it. But I feel like, when I'm tuning into the energy, I feel like you're like, can I trust them? Can I trust them? Or can I not trust them? Yeah. So this is an interesting one. I feel like the answer that I'm getting, like when I see release your ex, I actually feel like I'm seeing release the situation. So this makes me feel like for this pile, you are in separation. So it could be you're told them you need time to think about things is kind of the energy I'm getting. Yeah, I think you said you need time to think about it. I don't think there was a final end. It was just like, pause. I needed to figure out what I'm doing here and what's going on. I do feel like if you chose this pile and the person cheated on you and you know that, I think you found information that made you become aware of it. So I don't think this person openly told you. I think you found out and addressed them, or found out and asked them. Yes. So if that is resonating, it makes sense you chose this pile. And I think this even makes sense why there's a prayer will help the situation. I think this is saying like such contemplation. Like you're trying to see the future. Like, will this happen again? What should I do? I cared about this person. I did not expect this. I feel like there's a degree of shock because when I see the color of this card, I feel like it's like you can't see things quite clearly right now because I think there's just like overwhelm and shock going on. So if you are choosing to stay with this person, there is definitely a message here that, like when I see the deception card, I just get that it's like you're going to have to decide to forgive them for this, and you can't hold it against them like in a manipulative way if you decide to stay. Because it's like either you give this a chance and you know that you can forgive this and that you're going to learn from this. Yeah. Oof. Which is, I mean, I'm just going to convey what I'm getting. I do get that there is a loss of trust and deception. So you will have to address that and go on to some advice places, advice podcasts, advice channels, talk to therapists, I imagine, to help rebuild this trust and decide if you can trust them. And I do feel like you're going to have to spend a lot of intentional time rebuilding the relationship, rebuilding this place where you can both be feeling safe and happy together. And even think like rebuilding your romantic trust. So actually when I see this, like romantic feelings and very soon, well, one, I do see clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So I do feel like this is like saying that like clarity will come to you soon on what you're wanting to do about this. Where you'll just know, is this something that you like hearing all this? Is this all stuff that you want to do? Is this relationship worth it to you to go through all of this challenges? Because I do feel like you will have to, yeah, do a lot of things to recreate trust and build that back, recreate a safe space for you to feel like it's safe to be intimate with them. And it's coming through pretty strongly. And I feel like there's going to be some communication and there's going to be some change there in your sexual intimacy and just how you even want to be touched by them. I feel like it's like you might just need time and healing around that. So yeah, it's up to you. Like if this is what I do feel like you'll have to do forgiving and learning. I do just keep seeing though, like there's all these little voices whispering at this one person. So I do wonder if it's just it comes back to like, if you don't think that you can, like if you're gonna punish them for the rest of the relationship for having cheated on you, then I think you have your answer. That maybe it like isn't fair to you or them to always be in that energy of worrying. Like if you can work and build back the trust, or you want to try building back that trust, and if that doesn't work, then you're done. That's for you. But I just keep getting like, if you think if you're never gonna stop punishing them for having cheated on you, that is not going to be the kind of relationship that you want, or the kind of relationship that they want. It's just what I'm getting. So it definitely, clearing the energy between you two, taking the time to go through your emotions, and the shock. I keep getting the shock and the disbelief is really, really strong for this pile, because I just don't think you saw it coming. Don't think you thought they would do this to you. And I wonder if you did catch them right in the act even. Oh, that is so hard. Yeah. Okay. We're going to move on. I feel like you know this. So I think you're even listening to podcasts or talking to a therapist, or I wouldn't say talk to your friends necessarily too much about this, because I feel like they're going to have a lot of opinions on it. That maybe you don't want to hear, and you might be looking more for like that neutral opinion who's like, look, this is what you're gonna have to go through if you choose to stay. It is a process. It looks like this, and like I feel like that's why like even talking to a therapist about like the action steps would be interesting, because they've gone through it with so many couples. Okay, so what does it look like if you leave? We have soulmates, stay optimistic, getting to know each other, love yourself first, engagement, and pay attention to red flags. So, it's interesting. Some of these cards are repeating from the last pile, but it has a similar message in the sense. And this is what I do love about all these card readings when I do them, is that they like, I feel like in the energy we're always scared we're never going to find another great love. We're never going to find someone else who will be our person. It doesn't guarantee it's going to happen immediately, but it does say like there is another soulmate that will come through for you. Like there is someone else that will come through. Stay optimistic. Know that I feel like it's like saying like the universe will bring them to you. Like I see this girl is like offering like the universe, like this is what I would like to experience this time. You don't want any of this blank stuff. I want this. When I see pay attention to the red flags, this is telling me if you choose to lose this connection, to just be wary of jumping in too quickly into the next person who shows you romantic interest. Only because when we just leave something, there's this weird phenomenon where we're still attracted to the qualities of that other person. So we might be attracting in people who are just more karmic lessons. And if you are not wanting to repeat those, just be wary and take the lesson as learned and be like, I'm not interested. Are they like, I don't know. I feel like there might have been some showboaty stuff, or like some slight manipulations of the truth. that you went through with this other person. And this is just saying, watch out for that, because this isn't your next immediate soulmate. This is actually just the universe being like, do you want this lesson again, or have you learned it? And you're going to be like, I have learned it. I do not want this lesson. I do not want this type of person again. Thank you though for offering. So that's what I kind of get from this. And just don't forget, when your intuition is telling you there's something weird, trust it, because you're onto something. But yeah, you definitely do got this other soulmate energy coming in. So we have the getting to know each other. This card, similar to how it just came through in the last pile, I'm getting the same message around before hopping in with the next soulmate. There will be this necessary time for you to work through, because what you went through is hard. There was a violation of trust. There was a violation of even knowing if you can trust yourself, if it's okay to be vulnerable. Just, there's a lot of wounding with that, and it's saying, take the time you need. I want to say, take the time you need, girl. I don't know, you don't have to be female, but just like, that's coming through. Like, you feel your feels, you clear them all out, and you know what you deserve, and you forgive yourself for not seeing what was happening sooner. You forgive yourself for that. And then you are ready for this little Prince and Charming, this Prince and Charming to come in, which once again, you don't need to be female, but that's just the energy is like playing around with right now. And again, a reminder, love yourself first. Do not compromise. I think that might have been something that happened in this last dynamic, is you compromised a lot, and then it might have been through your compromising that they were like able to manipulate and do some shady things, which is just, it's such a, like, comes back to that violation of your trust, which I'm so sorry you went through. I'm so sorry you're experiencing right now. So love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. This basically says, like, just don't lower your value so that you can fit into someone else's. Steve. Sorry, my cat's like crawling into this table here. There's like 2 things in there, but he just manages to always throw out everything that is in this little table cubby as he's walking into it. I don't know if you can hear him. He's now just rummaging around under the table. In the little cubby hole. Throwing things around. Okay. He's gonna do it again. He's almost disappointed there isn't more things to throw, I think. Okay, so love yourself first. Yeah, put yourself first this time. I think it even is referring to how you might have put yourself second in this relationship. So whether you stay with them or do not stay with them, remember to put yourself first and your needs first, and not them first, which can be a hard thing to do, but your needs matter, and you got to look out for your own needs. And you got to hope that your partner will be honest with you about their needs. Okay. Yeah. And I think that's, from what I can see, I think that was even a block too. I feel like your partner wasn't very good at communicating what they needed, and I feel like that is like another wounding you're dealing with. This person who has had some issues. You had some issues with engagements. I like this. I love it. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So I just see, like, I do feel like there's another connection out there for you that is long term, that is lasting. And if that's something you're like, well, will it, but like, I put so much time into this, like, will this even go anywhere? Will this even, like, will it just be little flings? No, I feel like you're going to find yourself sorry. So I don't know. I do get an impression that this pile might have been married. Or just in a long-term relationship, with them for several years. So I'm sorry about that. I just feel like, this card, I feel like you're in so much shock and you feel very betrayed, and confused. And I just feel like I can go down a wormhole of just the struggle fest you're going through. But prayer will help the situation. I feel like it's just saying, I ask for divine intervention. I welcome your help, and I trust and follow your guidance with gratitude, grace, and I need a miracle and ask that you send me one to the situation quickly. Thank you. Yeah. I feel like I don't know why. I do feel like you have to make a decision quickly around this. So, let's just pull a couple more cards for y'all around the situation. I'm having such a hard time doing that. Okay. So what do you need to know about your love life? Pile 2. What do you need to know about your love life? Surprise. Okay. And we want that one apparently. So we have surprise. Trust. Ooh. You know what? It is interesting that these two came upside down. I don't really know what surprise upside down means though. We have the X, stars, passion, and the right path. Okay. So definitely see that you're scared you're not going to choose the right path. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. But just know that every path is right for you. You can only choose the right path for you. And if it doesn't feel like it's honoring you, then you're allowed to leave it at any point. Yes. Healing from the past heartbreak takes time. Be patient with yourself. So yeah, I do feel like you do just need time to like go through the emotions of this. I do feel like you were very shocked, very betrayed. And I think, I do feel like some of you did see it. I keep seeing that you did see your partner with someone else. And that just seems like a whole nother level of just devastation and heartbreak to process. So I just feel like you need some time to just feel the feels and get the support you need around that. Stars. So this one being upside down, I feel like you're not, this is really just further confirming that I feel like you're not sure if like, which is interesting because it's actually the same both ways. Oh, maybe that's the message. I feel like there's the same both ways. I really think this comes back to there's no wrong path. There's just the path that you choose. So if you want to stay with them and work on the trust, that is your right path. If you want to start new and find your next soulmate, that's also the right path. There's no wrong one for you. It's just whatever one you choose. And as long as it's honoring you and your needs are being met, and you're being treated and valued as you want to be, and just in general valued and respected, then that is the right choice for you. But definitely saying you've got to, like, there's a trust block either way that you're going to have to work on. That unfortunately came from this relationship, and I do think could easily follow in future relationships if you don't just take the time to heal that within yourself. And the romantic surprises are on the horizon. Be open to them. Interesting. So you take that as it resonates. Just some surprises coming in. And passion, keep the flame of passion alive. It's the heartbeat of love. So interesting. I wonder if there is just still a lot of passion with this person you've left or something like that. I don't know, because there was a couple other cards that were a little lusty towards them. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you wonder if that's like a thing that you're surprised is still there or something. I'm not sure. Once again, you take it or leave it as it resonates. But this is all I have for you. I wish you the best, and good luck with this decision. Hello, pile 3. So your card you chose was Explore Your Options. Kind of an interesting card name. So kind of makes me wonder if you're in separation with someone and you're debating about getting back, but we'll see. It seems like that's the theme of all the other piles. So here we go. What does it look like if you stay with this romantic partner? For pile 3, all our has good moonlight. I don't actually want that many cards for this one. Okay. And then what does it look like if you explore your options and leave this partner? Ooh, okay. So let's look at the if you stay. Romantic feelings, unrequited love, trust, and finances and career. Interesting. Whenever this card comes through, it usually means something in the relationship dynamic kind of has to die, for lack of better words. Like it can't keep going, or just like the relationship won't make it. So it will just, yeah, it doesn't mean that there won't be a physical attraction. It usually just means like it's just there's something that is not making everyone's needs met. It just won't work. So something needs to change in the dynamic. So romantic feelings, your feelings are real and worth exploring. We have trust. This situation is calling for you to have trust. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Yeah, so that's so interesting. I was going to say, these two cards, I feel like there was actually a lot of romantic, what's the word? There's a big spark in your dynamic with this person. I think romantically or sexually, you're very attracted to them. It is interesting though. Whenever I see this card, I feel like whoever's in their masculine energy, who's more in their masculine energy in this relationship, has something going on where they're pushing this person away a little bit though. So there is a lot of attraction. There is something going on where someone's needs aren't being met, and this masculine energy is not as in it as the feminine energy is. And when I see finances and career, I kind of feel like the masculine energy might be having an issue with not feeling like they're good enough, offering enough, doing enough, or something like that. But it's interesting, but the feminine energy feels surprised by that. So it feels like they're not on the same page there. So I feel like there's just something going on in this dynamic. How do I put this here? I don't know. I do feel like there's also like a lot of gossipers around this relationship too. So there might be other people who are kind of feeding the masculine person's energy around like not feeling like this relationship dynamic is great. I don't know. You take that or leave it as it resonates. I'm not totally sure what I'm getting there, but I almost feel like they might be like, are you sure this is the right one? Are they like aligned with you? Are they blah blah blah? I don't know. Do they have enough money for you? Because I'm not totally sure if it's the masculine who feels like he should be able to offer more finances, or if the masculine wants the feminine to have more finances. I don't know. Once again, take it or leave it. I do feel though like this relationship, I don't know. Other than the romantic feelings, it feels like it doesn't feel like there's a relationship here. That's what I should say. Like I feel like one of the parties, I think it's the masculine, is separated or removed themselves from this dynamic. So it feels like a one-person relationship right now. And I don't really know the details. I feel like it's probably super complex or something like that. Or I don't know. Because every time I try to tune in, I'm like, oh, there's just so much on. I don't know. So maybe one person gave the other person a lot of reasons about why they should break up or why this relationship needed to end, but I'm not sure if any of them were very clarifying. You know what? My best thing I can say here is I almost feel like this masculine energy just decided they didn't want to be in this relationship anymore, and instead of just being honest about that, I almost feel like they had all these reasons and stories why, and then I kind of feel like the feminine energy was just like left by themselves wondering how they can fix all these things and like what's wrong with them and like that they're such horrible people. But I actually just feel like I don't know, I feel like this masculine embodied person just kind of was unaccountable and kind of shisty. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, this is going to judgment for sure. I'm going totally into my own judgment. But I feel like this guy's blaming the other person for all this shit, but actually he just like wanted to go off and like, I don't know, he just wanted to go play with other people. We'll put it that way. And meanwhile, this other person was very invested in the relationship, and I feel like they're like taking it so personally. Like, oh my gosh, I have to fix everything about myself. I'm so horrible. This person couldn't handle being with me, but actually I think this person was a bit of a player. And I actually almost feel like they're exploring their other options. I don't know. There's definitely such a player vibe, because even here, this unrequited love. No matter I look at it, I'm like, I feel like this male here is kind of full of shit, being all like, oh, I'm gonna be so suave, and then like the female's like caught off guard by it, and then like I don't know. I feel like the guy was doing it to impress his friends, and the girl here is thinking she found like her Prince Charming or something, and then like it ended with him being a player and not a great guy, but not taking accountability for it. Meanwhile, this girl is just sitting here like, yeah, like I keep saying, like feeling like not seeing that he is this energy and feeling like I don't know. Does he love me? Does he love me not? Was it real? Was it not? I don't know. Like, I feel like she's picking those flowers playing that game. Like, was it real? It wasn't real. I don't know. Did he love me? Am I horrible? Like, I don't know. So, I don't really feel like in this relationship. I mean, I guess if you're watching this, maybe there's an option to come back, but I feel like unless this male energy or this masculine embodied energy comes back in, I don't feel like there is an option for it to continue forward. And if so, I feel like he would come back in. Oh, I hate to say this, but I think he'd come back in still kind of being a player and being like, hey, like, that other thing wasn't an option anymore, so I'm back, but I'll probably be gone soon in this other. I don't know. I feel like this person's also a cheater. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm saying all these things. If take it as it resonates. If you're like, that was not my relationship, then this might not be your pile, and like, don't take it on as extra. But I just feel like this person feels so player-like, and I like this guy here. So just feel like there's no trust. He took it with him. Wherever he went. So I don't really feel like, this relationship even has the option to come back in unless this person comes back in fleetingly to kind of just further mess with this poor person who's, like, questioning their value and everything in life about why they were so horrible and how they could have been so horrible to such a great person. But it's this person. They weren't that great. You deserve better. Okay? You deserve a lot better. So what does it look like once you release this? Like, I think it's already been over, but I think you're still processing. I feel like you took on too much. Like, you were the wrong person. And I even wonder if the way they broke up made it sound like if you could change, you'd come back or something. Because I feel like this is going back in the pile. Like, it's over. They're never gonna come back, only fleetingly. And I shouldn't be so strong about that. But I just looking at their energy. They don't have the right intentions. You have such a beautiful heart, and their heart is like they're not even operating from their heart. They're just operating from another member of their body, we'll say. So not their head. Okay. So we have soulmate, express your love, stay optimistic about your love life, codependency, reconciliation, past life relationship, and retreat. So this is coming through for your future one. So I actually find this very interesting. So great confirmation again. There is another soulmate out there for you. Yes, there is another soulmate out there for you. Do not hold back in loving and trusting someone because of this past person's energy. But you do need to work on a codependency block. You might know this about yourself already, or maybe you don't. I don't know. Just look into codependency. If you can resonate with it, it will give you some tools on how to make sure that you don't put yourself in that situation again, so that you don't lose your identity in someone else, so that when they leave you, it doesn't make you question who you are or your value, because you know who you are, you're strong in yourself. Codependency is super common in people who had kind of manipulating parents in their life. So, like, don't be hard on yourself. This is just speaking to the compassionate person that you are, and a hard life that you came from. But it does call on you to grow so that you can't keep being, for lack of better words, victimized by people like this. Victimized by people who aren't in their heart energy, because you don't see that they aren't. You think that they are because you are, and you trust people. So it's just about working on that so it can't happen again. Reconciliation. I actually see this as like forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for past relationship, for the last one that just happened, and then allowing in this other connection. A lot of this is talking about letting yourself receive love in the future by someone who deserves it, and knowing who those people are. Retreats. I actually see this take time to retreat by yourself. So I should be clear, like, if you're seeing all this and you're like, this means the next soulmate's coming in right away and we're gonna get married and all this stuff, I do feel like there is a next soulmate coming in, but there is a healing journey that you need to take the pause and the break on to arrive to. So stay optimistic about your love life. There is your soulmate coming in, but you want this higher, more conscious relationship. If you do want it, then you have to work on a codependency block, maybe an anxious or avoidant attachment style. I think it'll probably be anxious. And just like being aware of that. Listen to some podcasts about it, research about it. Make yourself confident and strong in who you are so that you don't get lost again in connection. You both just bring out the best sides of you and you get to be your best version of yourself, not a mirrored version of them. Past life relationship, we have known each other before. So I actually think this is kind of from the last one. I think you've been in a lot of karmic relationships. So they're just past life relationships where you've learned lots of lessons from each other over past lives. And they're important. They're written in the stars for a way to say it, but they're not always that nice to be in. So I just feel like you're clearing out this kind of energy in the future. So definitely time to take some alone time and listen to some of those podcasts. And yes, I want to keep saying that. Yes, you will find a soulmate who loves you like this. That is in your life to experience. Okay? Can't quite see it. Let me show you it closer. This card. Equally in love with each other, supporting each other, respecting each other, and valuing each other. That's the kind of relationship you want. Equal, balanced. Okay, any further advice about your love life? Abundance, passion, surprise, anticipation. Okay, attraction. Okay, I actually love this. So I think it, like with this one coming up upside down, I think it's just saying, you know, there is a need for time to heal, but you are going to have, like, abundance just means like the optimal, the most loving, the most generous, the most happy, the most joyous, the most fulfilling, the most, like all those things that you want, just like full and enriched partnership is coming your way. There will be passion. I feel like I see like fun little secret dates and stuff and romantic gestures. Someone who might be more into like, I want to say acts of service, but kind of like acts of surprise, anticipation. So this came up, I feel like it's just like you're kind of dreading it, but you're also really longing for this kind of connection. Like I feel like there's some blocks coming up and like you're like, I don't really know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I ever want to trust anyone again. But then you're also like, but I really do want to be in a partnership. So it's just like acknowledging, embrace the sweet anticipation of love's arrival in your life. It's coming, but know that it's going to come when you're ready. Yeah, you have some healing to do, and that's totally okay, and that's totally normal. Totally normal. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? You had some people treat you bad when you were growing up, and unfortunately, you don't see your own value yet, but you will. Secret, something is hidden from you. Someone isn't being truthful. Yeah, so I do just feel like that's actually kind of coming back to that past relationship. Where if I don't know if you get messages from them or you hear something from them from time to time, might be best just maybe to block that energy. I don't feel like their intentions are very loving towards you. But yeah, and I just feel like there's also like a need to like do some healing of family issues, family traumas that came up for you. Like if you're like, I don't know, I just feel like there's going to be a time where you go into this codependency block and this anxious attachment block, to see where it all came from. And then attraction. I feel like, yeah, this is great. Manifesting and attracting in someone who resonates with you. You're the right person at the right time in your life. It is happening as you heal. Your other person is probably healing and becoming the aligned right person for you. Okay, sorry. These readings are just a little bit shorter today. I wish you the best of luck. I'm so sorry for how things went for you. And I'm truly rooting for you. And I know you're going to find someone who's more deserving of you in the future. You just got to realize that you're worthy of it. You are deserving of it. Okay? You have a good one.